Hey there, fellow songwriters and music makers. The previous two videos I did on the Zoom R16 received a lot of comments. I'm glad to hear that those videos helped a lot of you out. Today I'm going to do a video to address some of the common questions people have asked about the Zoom R16. I'm going to get to that in a second. If you haven't seen the two previous videos, I'll put links below in the description box. And I'll index all the subjects I'll be covering today, so you can navigate that a little bit more quickly if you want to jump around a little bit. And let's get to it right now. All right, some people had some questions in regards to hooking up monitors to the Zoom R16. And yes, you can hook up monitors. We have two 1/4-inch outputs right here, right and left. I'll just plug these 1/4-inch plugs in, and now I'll just plug them into my M audio speakers. The M audio speakers take RCAs or 1/4-inch. In this case, I'm just going to use my RCAs. All monitor speakers are different, so just check to see how you hook up yours. And these monitors are powered, so I'm going to turn the button on. You'll see it turn blue. The Zoom will not power passive speakers, so you're going to get yourself a pair of powered monitors. Okay, if you choose not to use monitors, you could use headphones. These are the headphones I use right here. These are AKGs. And the Zoom accepts a 1/4-inch headphone plug, and it has its own volume control right there. For the topics I'll be covering today, I recorded a short piece of music, and I wanted to give you a visual of what I did. On tracks 1 through 8, I put drums on track 1, bass on track 2, and rhythm guitar on track 3. And on tracks 9 through 16, I just did a guitar solo on track 9. Now I want to give you an idea of what that sounds like. So here's the drums, the bass, and the rhythm guitar. And if I click 9 through 16, here's the guitar solo. So I'm going to just let you hear what that sounds like by itself. I recently got a question in regards to bouncing tracks. So that's a relatively easy thing to do, and that's where I'm going to start off today. And with that previous piece of music I played you, I am going to bounce the drums and the guitar solo down to track number 5. And I just picked track number 5 at random. I'm going to start off by putting track 5 in record mode. I'm going to mute the rhythm guitar track. I'm going to mute the bass track. I see the drums are in play, which is where I want them. I'm going to switch over to tracks 9 through 16, and I'm going to make sure that the guitar solo is also in play. I'll move back to tracks 1 through 8, and now we are going to get to bouncing, and we do that by clicking the swap bounce button. You'll see it says swap. I'm going to move down here. I'm going to click the right arrow. It's going to say bounce. I'm going to click enter. Bounce is off. I am going to turn the jog wheel. Now it's turned on. And when I click exit, you're going to see a little black box there that says bounce. So now we're in bounce mode. I'm going to click exit again. I'm going to make sure the track is rewound to the top. I'm going to click record. And once I click play, that drum track and that guitar solo track will go to track number 5. We bounce to track 5. Okay, we're going to rewind the track. I'm going to put track number 5 in play mode. I'll turn up that fader. I will mute the drum track, and I will mute the guitar track. So now all we're listening to is that bounce that we just did. And that's how you bounce. Okay, now I want to go into a little bit of detail about the send return effects. Okay, now if I click on this button, you're going to see there's the reverb. We're using a live house reverb. And you have to think of the send return effects as a blanket effect across all the tracks. All right, now to give an example, I'm going to mute the drums, the bass, and the rhythm guitar. And go back 9 to 12, and we're just going to work on the guitar solo so you can hear what I'm talking about. Now before I click the send return effect, I want to show you something when I click pan EQ. When I click pan EQ, you can see track 9. I have track 9 lit up, and if you use the up and down button, there's your EQ. And when I go down, you're going to see reverb, send, and chorus send. Okay? Now, this controls the chorus and the reverb effect. Okay? So if I come over here and I click send return, you're going to see the reverbs. Now I could turn the jog wheel and you're going to see the types of reverb change. Okay, small hole, large hole, soft hole. There's all different types of reverb you could use. Okay, but if you notice when I click, right now I'm back on Live House, but if you notice when I click the left button, it's going to say echo. Okay, so that is the second effect that's used on each channel. So you have the reverb, which is Live House, but you also click that left button and you'll see echo, but you have different choices. If I use the jog wheel, I could have a doubling effect, I could have a guitar chorus, I could have a short delay, but just for now, we're going to go with echo. This way you could hear what I'm talking about. So again, think of the send return effects as a blanket effect across each channel that you could add or remove the effects from each track that you record. Okay? So we're going to rewind the song, and you're going to hear just the guitar solo. All right? I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to hit pan EQ. Okay, we're on reverb send. Right? I'll scroll down. You'll see chorus send. But the chorus we actually changed to an echo, so it's going to be echo, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's just work on the reverb, okay? So we'll turn it down all the way, and then I'll turn it up all the way. Okay, so you heard that reverb. Okay, now we'll just leave the reverb somewhere around 30. But let's scroll down, and now even though it says chorus, it's actually an echo effect that we put there. Okay, so let's do the same thing. You hear the echo? I'll lower it a little bit. Okay, now let's just put that all the way back down. And let's go back to send return. We'll click that again. And again, it says echo. So we had echo there. Let's change that. Let's Let's try deep double. Okay. So exit out of that. Go back to Pan EQ, and now this is going to be the deep double, and we'll see what that sounds like. So now it sounds like it's doubled. Okay, we'll do one more. Okay, we'll exit out of this. We'll go back to send return. And again, if I click the button to the right, we're using the live house reverb. Go to the left. Right now we're going to use that deep doubler, but we'll change that. Let's use a deep chorus. We'll use a deep chorus effect. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Pan EQ. Now this is going to control that deep chorus effect. We'll listen to it again, and I'll turn it up. Okay, so now as I said, now you have that deep chorus and you also have that reverb. And we could use that on any channel, all right? Any of the tracks we recorded, we could put that reverb or that chorus on, all right? So let me just show you what I'm talking about. We'll mute the lead guitar, okay? And we'll go back to tracks 1 through 8, and we'll just work on the bass, all right? Okay, so now we're just working on the bass. You see we have the chorus there. Okay, now you're going to hear the bass is dry, and again we can control the reverb. We'll turn the reverb all the way down on the bass, and we'll go back to chorus, and we'll put some chorus on the bass. Now you can hear there's a chorus on the bass. So basically, what the send return allows you to do is, if I go back, it allows you to choose a reverb, in this case live house, and it also allows you to choose something like a chorus or a delay or an echo. So basically you get to use 2 effects that will be that you could use on every track. Okay, now let's just, for the hell of it, let's just say, all right, now we're on number 5 live house, but I could change this. I could change it to, let's say, like a big room. So now we have a big room reverb. And then if I click the left button, I could have a warm delay. I could have the doubling. I could have the deep chorus. And I could have the echo. So now on each track I can have echo, and I could have this big room reverb. Okay? Now what you could also do with the reverb, in addition, if you want more control over the reverb, let's just go back to, let's say, let's go back to a True Studio reverb. Now, if I click the down button, I can edit that. So I'll click enter, and you could change the type of room the reverb is. So you have a room reverb, you have a spring reverb, you have a plate reverb. If I go back to the left, you could have a hall. So you have hall, you have room, you have spring, you have plate. So you have those choices as to what kind of reverb you want. Okay? So that shows you a little bit more, if you didn't know, of what you could do with the send and return effects. All right, I had some questions about wet and dry recording. And to explain that, we're going to record a guitar track. All right? I'm going to redo that guitar solo that I just did. And I'm in input 1 and I'm recording on track number 9. All right? Now I want to use a distorted guitar sounds. So I'm going to click Insert Effect right there. And right now you see I'm in the bass bank. These are all the bass effects. I want to go to the guitar effects. So I'm going to scroll to the left. And now we're in acoustic bass simulators. I'm going to click left again. And now we're in the distorted guitar. And I'm going to use this guitar effect to record the guitar solo. Now I have to make sure I'm in the right input. So I'm going to use the down button right here. Input source. I'm going to click enter. And we're going to be in input 1, which is where we are. So now the guitar will be distorted. Now I'm going to exit out of that. If I scroll to the right again and keep scrolling to the right, we're going to see something that says record signal. Okay? I'm going to click enter on that and we're going to record wet. Now what that means is the distorted guitar is going to be recorded onto the SD card, and we'll do that right now. Okay, now I'm going to record that guitar track and the distorted guitar signal will be recorded to the SD card. Okay, now when we listen back, you'll hear it. All right, now I'm going to undo that. And we're going to go back to the beginning, but now we're going to record dry. And what that means is we'll hear the distorted guitar while we're recording, but what's really being put down on the SD card is the clean guitar. And you would want to do that just so you have the feel of hearing the distorted guitar, but you could always change the guitar sound later if you didn't like the distortion you were using. All right, so now we're going to go back over here. We're going to click Insert Effect. Okay, we have the distortion, we have enter, we're going to go down over here, we're going to see record signal again, we're going to hit enter, and it says wet, we're going to turn the jog wheel, now it says dry, we'll exit out of that. Now when I record the guitar track again, we're going to hear the distortion, but when we listen back, it's going to be clean. Okay, here we go. Going to put in record mode. There we go. Record, play. Okay, now when we listen back, we're not going to hear the distortion. It's going to be clean. Alright, now that we have that dry guitar solo down, let's try using the insert effects again to change the distortion on it. Alright, so we're going to go to insert effect right there. We're going to click that. We see it says distortion. Use the down button, and this time I'm going to go to input source. I'm going to click enter, and now we're going to jog over to where it says track number 9. Okay, track 9. Okay. Now I'm going to have the distortion there, and I'll just scroll through different distortions so we'll hear how it sounds. Okay, you hear now I have a wah on it. Now I'm going to show you how to mix down to a master track. And all that means is you're taking tracks 1 through 16, the tracks that you recorded on, and you're mixing down to a stereo wave file, which is basically a 2-track. And this is so you could listen to it in your own stereo. Now to do that, we have the drums lit green, bass lit green, and the rhythm guitar lit green. And we also have the guitar solo lit green. Okay. Now we're going to hit this button right here that says Mixdown / master Mixdown right there. Light that up red. We're going to go to the top of the track, hit record, and hit play. Okay. Now I'm going to put this into play mode. It's lit up green now, and all the other tracks will be muted, and we'll hear what we just did. Okay, so now we're going to do another mix down. So we're going to turn that to red, and let's take out the guitar solo. So I'll come over here, I'll mute the guitar solo, and go back to 1/8, and now we'll do a master without the guitar solo. Okay, we'll rewind, put it in play, and now you're going to hear the one that we just did, which won't have the guitar solo. Okay, now we're going to do one more. Okay, so I'm going to light it up red, and this time we'll take out the rhythm guitar. So we won't have rhythm guitar, we won't have guitar solo, we'll just have drums and bass. And let's do that. Okay, so the most previous master that we did is what you're going to hear. So I got it in play, and now all you're going to hear is the master I did, which is drums and bass. Okay, now all the 3 masters that we just did are on the SD card. If you want to pull them up, what we're going to have to do, if you want to pull a previous version up, what we'll have to do is we'll hit Project. I'm going to scroll to the right. I'm going to go to File. So now I'm going to hit Enter. Okay, so now it says Track 1, and you'll see Track 1 is lit. But I'm going to scroll all the way. I'm going to keep using this right arrow until I see Master. So these are all empty tracks right here, not assigned. and I'm going to see master come up. Now it says master. So it has master 2, which is what we just did. That's going to be the bass and the drums. Now if I turn the jog wheel, I'm going to say master 1. That's going to be the rhythm guitar, the bass, and the drums. And if I go down to master 0, 0, 0, that is going to be the guitar, the bass, the drums, and the guitar solo. So I'll hit enter. Okay. We'll get out of that. Click exit. Go back to the song. It's lit up green. And now you're going to hear the very first master that we did. Okay, now I'm going to talk about adding mastering effects. When you hear somebody say they're sending out their song to get mastered, all that really means is they're talking about making it radio ready. When all these tracks are mixed down to a stereo track, sometimes it loses its vibrance. So you send it out to mastering to get it EQ'd better. Now, the zoom comes with mastering effects. So if I come over here and I click Insert Effect, I'm going to click Enter, and right now we're in the effects for the guitar. That's distortion. I'm going to keep moving right until I see mastering effects. Okay, so there the mastering effects are on. You see we have something called Tighten Up. What I want to do is I want to click the down button, and what I want to do is I want to go to Input Source. I want to click Enter, and we're going to click Master. And I'm going to exit out of that. And you'll see we're in the mastering effect called Tighten Up. I'm going to play the song, and then we're just going to scroll through different mastering effects that they have. All right. We're going to use the mastering effect called Rock Show right here. And we're going to just check the level on it. Make sure it's not going into the red. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a mix down, and the mastering effect Rock Show will be on that master. Okay, so I'm going to hit mix down, light is red. Hit record and play. Okay, we'll rewind. We'll review what we just did. Go to play. And this is the song with the mastering effects Rock Show on it. Here's another thing to note with insert effects. If the insert effect is applied to the master fader, you cannot also use the insert effect on track inputs. So what that means is if you plan on using a mastering effect at the end of the recording, which you don't have to do, it's up to you, but if you planned on using a mastering effect at the end, you can't also use an insert effect at the same time on an individual tracks. All right, now some people like to record on the Zoom, but they like to do their mixing on a program like Pro Tools or Cubase. You might have heard these names thrown around. GarageBand, Cakewalk, all these things. They're basically just recording programs that you could do on your computer. So just as an example, I have a free program here by Audacity, and I'm going to import the tracks from the SD card. So I'm going to go to Import and click Audio, and now we're going to have all my files come up. I am going to go to this PC, and we're going to go to SD card right there. Click on that. And the project we were just working on was project 14. So I'm going to click on 14. We're going to come up here. We're going to click on Audio. And there are the 3 masters that I did on the Zoom, or 4 masters rather. But we're just going to import the tracks. So I'm going to just shift and down, and all those 4 tracks are lit up, and I'm just going to hit enter, and it's going to ask me if I want to make a copy of the file before editing. We're going to click OK, and there's the drum track, and there's the bass track, and there's the rhythm guitar track, and that last one is the lead guitar. Okay, so there you have it. That's how you can import your files to a computer-based recording program, and we'll just listen back. And then you could do all your editing on your computer recording program. That wraps up the 3rd tutorial video. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions, feel free to send them my way and I'll get back to you. As always, please subscribe, and if you get a chance, please check out my music videos for I Want to Know How to Shine, Plenty 17, my easy listening instrumental video, and the original Zoom tutorial video. Hope you write some great songs. I'll catch you next time.